Hello,
Hi guys.
welcome to Fiery Fridays, where we put the fire in your Friday. And it's fiery enough, just the heat today. We're in a beautiful hot summer's day.
Yeah.
I've got a nice fire going behind us to my right. And I've just been for a swim because it's really hot where we are. It's been really hot.
It's hot, it's tiring.
Yes.
There's lots of mosquitoes here joining us.
Yeah.
So if you see us, that's just normal.
Yeah.
Welcome to everyone who's watching. Let us know where you're watching from. That'd be cool. Put the suburb or the country that you live on into the comments. We always love to see, everybody's just all over the place,
Yeah,
like
it's
we're
really
a
nice.
network. Yeah.
It's nice to see where you're from. It feels connective.
Yeah.
And so is this our first Fiery Friday for 2021?
Oh, it is.
It is. This is our first point of connection via this live this year. And I think we all feel lucky to have just scraped through last year, I think. So we're happy for new beginnings this year.
Yeah. Celebrate new beginnings. We're sitting on Gumbaynggirr country in Halfway Creek at the bush out the back of Halfway. Oh, hey, Carmel. Yes, very tropical, yeah.
Yeah.
New beginnings would be nice.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to have started the year with a new beginning with a date change for Australia Day too. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but we were kind of like, well, why can't we change the date? What's so hard and fast about this funny colonial day that we celebrate?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yep. Change the date.
Change the
then.
date. It's an interesting thing, and it seems very topical at the moment. And it seems like every year there's sort of a debate, or at least some talk around reimagining this celebration of Australia Day on a different day, just out of respect for traditional owners and the Indigenous population that live on this country and have had connection to this country for many thousands of years, if not for all of time, the time that we understand. So it seems to us like, and maybe for you guys as well, like a bit of a no-brainer. Maybe it just seems like common sense that if it's insensitive to a part of the Australian community,
and massively insensitive.
yeah,
Not just a little bit.
that we could just maybe make allowances for that, don't you think? That we could change the date, but obviously it takes a while to have change happen, and it's really interesting. We were pondering, or I was talking to Kate earlier about, well, I wonder what the arguments are against it. How could you argue against it? I don't see why there's a strong attachment to that particular day.
Isn't that the day we were meant to have discovered Australia?
Yeah, it's the day that at least the English arrived in Australia. There was obviously the history of Australia, or what we call Australia these days, goes back way beyond that, with other nations and trading. And
I think the fact that there was quite an advanced civilization living here before we turned up, it was already discovered as a country.
yes,
But a lot of us at school, I don't know about you guys, let us know, hey, but I was taught that basically when we turned up and put the British flag on the country, that's when it became like a real place. And before that, it was just like a place that wasn't inhabited. Even though they also spoke about Aborigines in history, the two ideas didn't really meet. And I actually think that's still very pervasive in the collective. And so there's this sense of not understanding why we need to change the date, like not taking enough time to really comprehend that that it's a day of great grief, intense grief and trauma for some very important people in this country that we need, I believe, to have very close and good relationships with, to move forward and create a really positive future together. And how on earth are we going to do that if we keep stepping all over their trauma like little children, and just not being prepared to put real action on something like changing a date? We can still have an Australia Day, but on a different date. But anyway.
seems like a no-brainer to us, but obviously it's a little bit of a snapshot into where we're at collectively as a nation.
Michael wants to be in our video.
Oh,
I don't
nice.
know how to do that, Michael. Yeah, sorry, you go.
Yeah. So it seems like a no-brainer, but it is obviously is a bit of a watermark of where we're at as a country, that there's still resistance to even changing the date, given all the new awareness of everything that's gone before, and sort of learning that, like, the true history of this country. And I don't think we've come to terms with that yet, that this is just where we're at. And so without judgment, it's just interesting to have those the stories come up again this year, and for a lot of us to think, well, what are we waiting for? But obviously, as a collective, we're not ready to recognise the true nature of our relationship to this country and the first inhabitants. So it's interesting,
It would be a thing that everybody all the Australia Day templates on the date would have to change. I mean, there's a logistical thing going on here. That's right. Michael's saying he didn't mean to. That's okay. Hey, Michael. Hey, everyone. Hey, Jesse and everyone else. I've got you here. Carissa, who's on Gadigal land. Nice. My mum lives down there.
Sydney.
Yeah, down in Sydney. Gina, Jesse, Dan. Hey, Dan. Susanna. She's from Willows Gemfields in Queensland.
Nice.
That's nice. Welcome, everybody. First Fiery Fridays for 2021.
Yeah.
Kicking it off with smoke.
Yes, swimming.
Mosquitoes, swimming.
Mozzies.
I've got my fibre. I'm going through all of this. Look at this. This is all from our last weaving workshop. These are all the colours and natural fibres that we made with the group, and I'm just organising it so that we can do our next workshop and have it not go mouldy in the environment that we're in.
Yeah.
Change the date.
Change the date, yeah. So
we're for change the
we're
date.
for it. And
are you?
And I guess it may take a few more years, and I think we just need to stick at it. We need to keep talking about it, telling the story, so that change can happen. And ultimately, as it seems inevitable, we're going to end up with a different date for Australia Day where the whole population can celebrate,
all of us.
And so there can be, if traditional owners need to have a day of mourning on the 26th of January, they're able to do that freely without having a whole bunch of other people in their face around celebrating the triumph of the settlement of the country. So I think we're heading there, but when we get there is another question.
Totally. And one thing that's really worth remembering is that Indigenous Australia know with mastery how to move grief. They are phenomenal at moving grief. Like, we've been to ceremonies for sorry business, particularly up in northeast Arnhem Land. We've been so fortunate to be invited to these beautiful week-long ceremonies where there's hundreds of people dancing and singing, and it's hard to even put words to it. But this would be so positive if we actually allowed grief to come into the story of the way our nation was formed. And I believe it would actually bring a huge amount of power into all of us for creating a future that's very powerful.
Yeah.
Anyone here would know, if you've avoided your grief, if you've avoided your loss, you stop your personal growth.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're doing as a nation. We're stopping ourselves from really growing. I say we just lean on in to the horror. Like, I get tears when I think about what we've done to the traditional people here. But leaning into that collectively and embracing it and moving it, and I believe on the other side would be genuine power as a nation.
Yeah.
Real power.
Yeah.
Not that other power.
I completely agree. I think we're stuck. And it's like when we don't deal with our own individual trauma, we get stuck there. And I think that's where we're at, and we're not willing to really look at it and really feel it. And I think maybe my little inkling is that a lot of people that are very anti-changing the date, when I've tried to think about what sort of mentality would drive that, maybe it's an uncomfortableness with the true nature of the history and the relationship that's brought us to this point, and that there's an incongruency there, and maybe that's what drives this almost resistance to accept it and move forward. So
Totes.
Yeah, someone else is saying it's more than just the date. I think it was Taryn. Is that how you say your name? Anyway, it's absolutely more than just changing the date, but that would be that would just be something nice that we could do. That's really easy to do.
It's tangible.
And it's symbolic more than anything else. It's a symbolic gesture to say, yes, we recognise that this day is a sensitive day for you. We recognise that there's been a lot of traumatic experience that's gone down on this land and needs to be made right, in a sense of like accepting it at least. We can't take back the sins of the past, but we can definitely accept it and allow a healing of sorts to happen. So yeah, it's more than changing the date. Absolutely, we're all for that too. But this is just what's up at the moment.
Susan put a really cool post. Check it out, guys. She's saying she's all for it, changing the date. But have a look at Auntie Rosemary Wanganeen. I hope I pronounced that right. www.lossandgrief.com.au. So check that out. I'm sure that'll be a really interesting thing. But look, hey Anna, how are you? We've got some amazing teacher trainers who are coming online with us this year.
Yep.
We have a full troop of amazing teacher trainers who they want to spend some time with us.
Yes. We're going to go on a journey together.
Yeah. It's a journey, trust me. And develop their own amazing...
Melanie's there too.
Yeah, Melanie, hey, yep. Amazing nature connection programs that are actually transforming consciousness, creating culture change, and it's growing like more than ever. I don't know if you guys have noticed on our website, we've just had to put out all these new dates and new programs because all the others are just booked out.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, people are...
Yeah, it's the other edge of this, the other side of the coin of the craziness that's going on. There's a lot of people also like waking up and wanting to have more of a relationship with the earth and understanding that, and a connection again after this like sense of like a dark ages of disconnection where we've sort of forgotten about where we come from. So I think there's a remembering, and there's a reactivation amongst all the very chaotic change that's happening too in the external world.
I feel like it's all connected, and even the fact that Indigenous Australians' voices are becoming stronger, and there's like a lot of people who are very keen to support the empowerment of Indigenous wisdom, and then from learning, like they're our mentors and our guides, this ancient culture, to then come back to our culture and not copy what they do, but to say to ourselves, well, how can we, in our own unique way, change the culture that we're in so we have a deeper sense of the connection that you're talking about, and find our own way forward when it comes to nature connection, because there's no getting rid of Facebook and technology, and we're not all going to go back and live in the huts with the fires and everything, although that might be a dream of mine again to do at some point. But we can definitely integrate it all in and create something that has much more meaning than what's happening for a lot of people now. I reckon.
Absolutely. On a positive note too, that even the fact that we're having that conversation so publicly, it's in the public sphere so dominantly now versus 15 years ago. Like people weren't talking about changing the date. It just wasn't even a thing. We just didn't give it a thought, a lot of us, and now it's such a big thing. So that's on a positive note. There's change happening. It's slow, but it's potentially happening.
You know what else is really positive?
What's positive?
Is this green colour. Can you see that? It's got a little bit of like an orangey yellow tinge to it. That's a dye discovery that Ingrid and I made, that we share with all the other excited women in their weaving workshops. And I just got excited when I saw it.
Yeah.
We're weaving with a bunch of women at the end of February, I think. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
That whole story though too about you and Ingrid
find out.
with learning from traditional people up north in Arnhem Land, from family, weaving and dyes, and then coming back down here to the country that you live on.
Yeah.
And rediscovering through just your direct contact with the earth around you, the different materials and plants that do the dyeing down here is an epic journey.
It is an epic journey. And then to have all of our Yolngu family come down and share in it down here and get excited about what we're discovering. And, we're all sort of learning together.
Yeah.
It's interesting to remember that putting dye colours onto fibres was actually not a traditional Indigenous skill set in Australia, because they didn't have, before we Europeanized. That's terrible. Before we colonised, they didn't have the sort of pots that they could actually do the boiling of the water in to create the different colours. So all of the colours that you see in northeast Arnhem Land that the women create their baskets with now, they've just sort of in the 30s and 40s started to happen, and they also just discovered from the country they're on, well, maybe we can experiment here and do this and create colour out of the land. And so that was what really inspired Ingrid and myself down here, because nobody else was really doing colour dyes down here that we knew. And so we were able to really experiment and find some amazing colour. That's a nice colour. That's on, it's not Bangalore palm, but you can dye Bangalore palm, but that's on Alexander palm, which is actually really nice. All the palm trees are coming back from all this wet weather. They're starting to pop back up and give us weaving fibre again.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah.
We don't have a plan. Oh, 7-day sit spot challenge.
Oh yeah, so we've got the 7-day sit spot challenge coming up. We're running it again. This is the third incarnation of what is a really epic week of discovery, connection and tribe, really. That's the other element.
Yeah.
Where we go on a journey together doing a sit spot every day for 60 minutes, ideally, in the bush. And a sit spot is just really essentially a special place in the bush or the forest that you go to sit and observe. And we layer in a bunch of different content each day that you can take with you that gives you a framework to use a sit spot as a tool, as a mentor, to learn about nature and feel more connected. And we're going to start again in February on the 25th.
25th, Thursday the 25th.
Yay.
Roll up.
So that's a Thursday. So it's...
Well, I've spent today at a computer this morning, and I put it all on the website.
Yeah.
And so we'll email everybody about it and we'll post about it. But we would love it if you want to join us, or if you've done it before and then you want to do it again, you're welcome to join us again. But if you haven't done it yet, it's something that I think a lot of people, maybe because of the group effect as well, you really do break out into a different sense of connection with nature, but you do it from the place that you're living. So that's why online's so cool.
Yeah.
You don't need to come to an in-person program, which are getting hard to get to as well and get spots in. So
Totally.
it's going to be great.
And the other benefit of doing it where you are is it's an opportunity to get to know the country you're on. So to get, you may already feel like you know that country really well, but it's an opportunity to take that relationship deeper as well. And we all, I think, benefit from a greater sense of belonging to the land. And so getting to know your part of the land better is such a great way to feel more connected.
For me, it wasn't bird language that took me into my gateway drug of nature. For me, sit spots took me into plant communication and connection. And that's partly, so this is a lovely yellow colour, and this is on cabbage tree. And sit spots, I think, when looking back now, when I'm sitting and I'm weaving, I'm actually in a sit spot practice. It's just, it's morphed into this, you know, passion connection thing where I literally feel like the earth gets a little hands in there and turns me on and turns me up to a level 11 of joy and passion. It's really interesting. It all came from the beginning of learning how to look out into nature and see what's actually there, but by allowing nature to show it to me rather than putting and projecting onto it intellectually. And it's a cool process.
It's a very cool process, and it's deceptively simple, but it is a framework where you can really shift your awareness in terms of learning from the landscape, from that projection-oriented sense of needing to learn something, like looking something up in a book, you know, Googling something these days, you know, doing that sort of acquiring and collecting of knowledge, where a sit spot is a very like receptive practice, and it's very body-based too. So it doesn't leave the mind out of the picture where you're not sort of, you're still collecting knowledge, but you're having a body-based experience at the same time. So it's more balanced, and it's Yeah, it's a shift back towards being receptive and aware and in the body,
Yeah.
embodied.
I think that's everything.
Mm.
Getting out of your head, getting into your body, and
Yeah.
learning the language of your body and how your body has a wisdom encoded in its capacity to be responsive to the land. That capacity to respond is actually how land and plant and animal communication happens, and spiritual communication on a soul level also happens. It's not just all through the mind. The mind's more like a reflection of the more source qualities of that body-based communication.
There's some good comments here. Hang on.
Oh, hang on, comments.
How do
I love
Can
comments.
you look at that one on your thing?
Oh, yeah. Hang on. No, it's not coming up on my phone.
About the who's that? Is that?
Hang on.
can't-
Dame Hillary.
Yeah.
Walking my local forest now that it's so thick growing I can't walk in after the fires.
Yep.
Yeah. Cell memory of walking in different places because of the challenges you set during the year.
Yeah.
Without those prompts, I might never have ventured into those places.
Oh, that's so great.
That's cool.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a trigger to get out there.
That's really, really cool. And Nerida's saying, can you read that?
Doing the Sit Spot journey last May started me on a whole new journey.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Us too.
Us too. We get so much from it too, and just sharing the space with you guys.
Yeah.
And
Very
all
special.
of everyone that did it is very special for us too, and we get a whole lot from that. So that's part of it too, just finding tribe as well, just
Yeah.
connecting and sharing, just even sharing through the private Facebook group and seeing people post photos of a bird encounter that they had, or just telling the story of their sit spot that morning, just connects me to that person and to that place. And it feels great.
Through storytelling.
Yeah.
We could go on and on.
On and
we
on
could
and
talk
on.
for another half an hour about storytelling and
Yeah.
how amazing that is. Aww.
What else is new? We have.
What else? Oh, we actually do have some new
Yeah,
things.
we've got some. Yeah.
So 7-day sit spot challenge.
Yes.
We did put a new bear weaving workshop out, so anyone that does want to come and play with Ingrid and myself with natural dyes and local New South Wales fibres, you're welcome to join us. I would recommend getting in quick though, because those workshops have been booking out really super quickly, more than the other ones. And Vision Quest.
The Vision Quest. This is exciting.
This is
Yeah,
exciting.
we've had a lot of people interested in Vision Quest this year, and we've not been able to actually open up for bookings because we haven't had a suitable venue to actually hold the Vision Quest program and ceremony that it is. But recently, just in the last few days, we went on a mission just north of us and connected with someone that has a property.
A beautiful, beautiful person.
Yes. And they're happy for us to run a Vision Quest on their property. So we're
Very happy.
super excited that we can actually offer some dates in May. I think it's like the 1st to the 8th of May, is it?
Yep.
So if
Vision
you're
Quest.
interested in Vision Quest, we're open for bookings.
Yep. Yeah, I did that today too.
Great.
I was very
Productive.
I felt goggle-eyed. I hope it all works. Sometimes there's a little bit of link issues, so just let me know if there is. But the Vision Quest is just such a beautiful thing. It almost feels like it's an essential part of what we offer these days, because so many of us are waking up to the fact that we actually have a spiritual task. And when you wake up, you realise you're not just here to be a clog in the wheel of the Western world's story for you, that you actually have a purpose and you're here to do something, here to make a contribution, and your contribution really matters. And the Vision Quest is a very powerful way to find that purpose and to understand how to move personal blocks so that purpose can start to really flower as well. And it's a very special program, and I'm excited because the property that we have can hold the sort of numbers that we're getting for Vision Quest these days, which that group effect is something very powerful about a group of humans. We used to run 2-3 person Vision Quest
sometimes
years ago, and now it's the last one was 32 people. It's amazing.
It's a sign of the times.
The good times.
Yeah, the good times. The other thing that people have been
We'll stay
really
positive.
interested in along the lines of Vision Quest is actually getting involved in the Vision Quest Protector training. So it's the training that we're offering in June that trains you to facilitate the Vision Quest program and to hold space for that ceremony and all the different things that go into that, the skill sets that are required for that. So that's an epic training as well. The prerequisite for that, though, is that you must have done a Vision Quest in the lineage that we offer, which is the Stalking Wolf lineage, which is a few of us in Australia that are offering quests now, which is great in that lineage. So it doesn't have to be with us, but with someone that's offering that same quest that you've quested before.
Yeah, that's really important. It's sort of, otherwise it's a little bit like doing a teacher training for shiatsu massage, but you've never had a shiatsu massage. So it is important, that part, yeah. We just always get people asking, do I really have to? And it's like, yes, you really have to. Oh, that's great. Hey, Julie. Oh, nice to see you, that you're with us. Amazing, guys. What else? Is there anything else?
What else we got? We got other programs coming up. They're booked out though, hey?
What's that?
Nature One. We got Nature One happening.
Booked out.
Booked out. Yeah.
Wild Village.
Booked out.
Booked out.
Yeah.
Next Bear Weaving.
No, you can
booked
get in
out.
if you want to get into Nature One later in the year, in
October.
October. Yeah, absolutely. There's spots still in October. So if you want to join that epic ride, you can sign up for October.
It's worth the wait, I reckon.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, we're just going to keep rolling programs out, and after we do the 7-day sit spot challenge, we'll see about offering another online program as well. We ran a couple of doozies last year.
It's great.
Soul Quest, and then
Power Quest,
and then I ran my women's program, and oh my goodness, there was some amazing online things that went on last year. So we're definitely wanting to do that again for everyone this year, so we can come together as a community, not just in person, but I know for a lot of people it's hard to get to in-person programs. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Stay connected.
Yeah.
Any way we can.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys.
Hey.
Aww.
Well, lots of optimism heading into 2021.
Try to steer away from the negative there.
Yeah.
Which can be, I don't know.
It can it can get us.
Well, it can get all of us at certain
absolutely.
points, particularly after the year that was last year, and then the ongoing challenges to humanity's sanity. Oh, thanks, Mel. You too.
Yeah.
I can't wait for our journey together.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jane.
We're so lucky.
Yes.
We feel so lucky.
Not literally on fire, luckily.
No.
We are very fortunate.
Yeah, we are.
Fortunate. Awesome. Yeah, you've got to stay, really, I think you have to actively be in gratitude and appreciation. Steve!
Yeah, Quest Protector training in Queensland. Yeah,
Yes.
so Steve's found a site to run the... Steve, you can whack it in there if you want. What
The rock.
The site, what the site's called. But Steve's found a site for us. We teach Quest Protector training together
With Steve.
And have a lot of fun. Lots of castle quotes and other shenanigans that go on. Lots of fun. We have fun too, don't we?
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah. So great. It's great you're
Thanks,
sticking with
Steve.
us. And we'll be back here at some point, a couple of weeks.
Soon. We'll stay in touch, guys. It's important.
Yeah.
Love you, Steve.
Yeah.
That's it, Mel.
Yeah.
Oh, Mount Byron.
Mount Byron. That's where it's at. So
It'll be beautiful.
yeah, be lots of fun.
Can't wait.
All right. Have a great weekend, beautiful people, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
See you guys. Bye.